So Jamie, I want to know what that kissing scene was like.
For me,
Yes.
it was hot. It was hot, baby.
Hi everybody. Welcome to the Queer Network. My name is Justin Gerhard. This is Queer Talk, and we are interviewing Steven McKenna, who is the writer, director, composer, and editor of Loverboy. We just released it on the Queer Network, and we're also going to be joined by one of the stars of the show. How much of this was rehearsed? Was any kissing practice, intimacy practice, or like, how did this go?
Yeah, we had a little bit of kissing practice. I remember. I think we only did one rehearsal where we just kind of like got in closer and closer, slowly made each other comfortable, and then on the day it was just kind of right. Let's go gun ho and kind of just do it, like, you know.
This is another thing that my co-creator and I talked about. That scene was magical.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, that's down to how it was shot, like the DOP and Steve's and lighting, everything, like the whole crew.
Yes, but then you
shot.
can also see chemistry.
There's a few gay men in particular really like that scene, and a few gay men that I've shown that they really do like it. And one thing that they always comment on is the little bit of dribble that comes out from the two guys' mouth, and they're like, "Oh, it's so real. That's exactly how it is."
Yes.
So they love the drill.
I'm curious, Jamie, what that felt like for you.
For me, like, to be honest, it was quite tough for me, to be honest. But me and Abe did have a lot of trust in each other and a lot of trust in Steve as well. So that's what made it work. But it was a challenge for me, though, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's like, you'd be kidding yourself if it wasn't, unless you yourself had already explored kissing a guy.
Yeah.
Like, had you ever kissed a guy?
No.
I mean, I just think that is part of what the toxicness that we talked about earlier about of the conversation about masculinity, that even just being able to put your hand on another man and in a way that's not like bro-y and like slapping each other around is still it's still taboo.
Yeah, big time. Like, I'd have some friends that like you'd feel uncomfortable giving them a hug because you know it makes them uncomfortable. If that makes sense, you know, because they're just like, "Whoa, you're a guy."
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I'm not joking, though.
I know you're not. I think that's so funny. It's so.
It is. It's still a thing, though. Like, you know,
it is
just nuts. Like,
what I've actually found is that those people are now in the minority, and if you're like that as a guy, it's everyone kind of looks at you like, "Whoa, relax with it." Like, they look really bad. So I think it's really nice the way that flip has happened. That's what I've found anyway.
As straight men, like, what is your advice to other men who have issue with this, or how do you address that with these people?
Now, if I'm talking to someone like my own age, and they have a real problem with homosexuality, I probably would. Do you know what? I actually probably ask them about it, and I'd probably talk to them, and I'd probably really question everything, and trying to get under their skin as to why, and maybe not change their thinking, but see, it's very hard to change people.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's one of those losing battles.
Yeah.
You can even if you go as simple as someone who's just like a dick, you can't. There's no point in trying to change that guy. He's not going to change. So, but you can change your attitudes towards him. You can choose not to let it affect you.
Yeah.
There's always going to be people that, you know, are racist. There's always going to be people that hate everything. We just hope there's more of the opposite. Yeah.
And there are now more.
I think
than ever there have. Maybe not the ratio is half and half, but there's just more. Jamie, what were you going to say?
I was just thinking, it comes back to what you were saying about like just people seeing it. Like, one summer, myself and a few friends were over in Chicago for a J1, and it's like you go there for 3 months to work. But one of my friends, his parents were like quite Catholic Ireland religious, like quite old school in that sense. So he was kind of brought up that way, and he had something against gays. He just didn't didn't understand gays, didn't want to be around gays, that kind of thing. And that was purely just about how he was brought up by his parents.
Yeah.
And then Pride in Chicago, one day, just being around the LGBTQ community and like celebrating with them, completely flipped his whole thinking. He's like, why had I been thinking like that? Like, why had like literally why? Like, so I think it comes down to exposure and just being around, seeing it, like, you know,
and realizing that it doesn't take away from you.
Yeah, makes no
my
difference.
gayness, my queerness doesn't change you. So you can be around it. I mean, as an actor, you're playing this role. As a director, you're directing this story, not from your personal experience of being queer or gay, but from what you've seen, and also because the story is actually more about the intimacy that a man is or isn't letting himself feel in life. And that is a much more relatable story.
That's, I think, one of the scenes in the bedroom with the lead actor and the girl, I wanted to show that that intimacy problem with women as well.
Yes.
So there was so that people could, you know, if you're straight, they could see that and kind of go, oh, okay. So does he like her? Does he not like her? They kind of question what's actually going on.
I mean, I thought he had like interest in almost every character at some point. There was some sexual tension with all of them, which maybe wasn't what you intended, but that's how I took it.
That's fine. Yeah, I like to leave things open-ended enough that people can kind of draw their own conclusions, but give them enough that it's not, wait, what happened?
Right. I also was curious about the punch or the headbang moment in the club. Was that something that was always planned, or was that a moment that sort of came to you, and why so dramatic?
That guy is what Mark is without accepting himself. He's Mark gone way too far. He's the polar opposite. Like he's what we, you know, he's what you don't want to be. Yeah. Basically. So Mark is out there. He's trying to experiment. He's trying to experience, you know, intimacy, and then you've got this guy who's terrified of the whole thing but wants it so bad. Yeah. But he can't you just can't do it at all, and he's disgusted by it. So do you remember I said, you know, gay men that actually hate themselves for being gay? Yep. That's what he is.
Mm-hmm. What was the most memorable moments for each of you in this process?
Probably for me would be the kiss. That was like, for me, that is the biggest moment in the film. Well, for me anyway, as an actor, that was like the pinnacle of it.
That film was a big learning curve for me, because I remember kind of before going into that, kind of having an idea of what I wanted and kind of how it was going to be, and I remember seeing the final thing. And for a while, I actually got quite depressed. And I remember, you know, loads of people telling me different things, like, oh, would I like to see this? So it kind of left open-ended. Oh, I wanted to see more. And I kind of took a lot of that negativity as a reflection on myself as a filmmaker, which I should not have done at all. Right. But, you know, it taught me not to do that, you know. It's actually just enjoy the process of filmmaking and not make it such a big deal. Obviously, you know, you try your hardest to make something great, and you put the work in, but, you know, have fun while you're doing it, because it is making films.
That's just some great life advice, I gotta say. Making a movie is like life. It's a collaborative process, and we often get stressed because things happen. But after we've gotten so stressed about something, we realize, why did I get so stressed about that? It didn't help. Last thing I actually wanted to ask, what's next for both of you?
It's kind of hard to tell now with not knowing what the hell's next for the world. You know what I mean? I'd love to get back on stage in some kind of some kind of format. So that's kind of my next thing, I think.
I already have a short film lined up, so and then after that I'm gonna make a feature. That's the next big thing. Thank you so much, Justin, and thanks for taking the film as well. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. and
Yeah.
it's great for give the film kind of a new life, and hopefully people will connect with it, and it has a new home now. So I'm really happy with that.
I really want the Queer Network to be a place where people know they can come to find short form content, because I think that there's a lack of a way to congregate all that stuff. I think, there's lots of yous out there that are making these short films as their first or second or third project, and then where does it get housed? And I think these stories are so powerful that they actually will make a difference in people's lives. And the fact that it couldn't be seen by people after all that you did to make this film seems just absurd. So, if you know of anybody else who's making films that wants a place to put their film, that they know it's going to be, in connection with other films that are like it, I think, spread the word. All right, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. And I wish you guys the best as we proceed through this time of figuring out how to move on and move through this as artists. And I'll put your guys' Instagrams in the description so people can follow your journeys. Otherwise, thanks so much for doing this, and take care of yourselves.
Thanks so much, Justin.
Cheers, Justin. You too.
Well, there you have it. Thank you so much to Steven and to Jamie for joining me on the Queer Network for our first Zoom-style queer talk, adapting to this COVID-19 coronavirus world that we're living in. Grateful for all the technology that allows us to do this and to have these really important conversations that you just heard. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you've never been here before. Like this video, share it with all your friends, and hit that notification bell so you stay up to date on all things Queer Network related. And we'll see more of you soon. Give everybody at home just a little description of what Loverboy is.